Ever imagine yourself as like a cartoon? Like actually you starring in your own animated video? What if I told you it's possible and you could pull it off in just a few minutes thanks to AI?
Really?
Yeah, that's what we're diving into today. Buckle up because we're about to unpack Runway AI and how it can turn you into a digital star.
I mean, what's so fascinating is how user-friendly all these AI tools are becoming. Like, remember when this was something that only like big animation studios could do?
Right.
Now it's something anyone can just try out at home.
Exactly. Okay, so let's break down this process. Step one, we need an image of you, right?
Right.
Runway has its own image generation tool called Frames, but we're told that another tool, Midjourney, might be the better option for this specific task. Why is that?
Well, imagine you want to capture your own unique features, like those little quirks that make you you.
Yeah.
Midjourney lets you use a reference image
Okay.
and then control how much that image influences the final result.
Hmm.
So it's like a slider between looking exactly like your photo
Yeah.
and having a more stylized cartoon version of yourself.
So it's about capturing the essence of me, not necessarily a photorealistic copy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned control. How does that actually work?
Well, Midjourney has this setting called character weight,
Okay.
and that's where the magic happens.
Hmm.
You can dial it up for more resemblance to your reference image,
Okay.
or you can dial it down for like a more artistic, less literal interpretation. You get to decide how much of you shines through.
So even before we get to the animation part, there are already all these creative choices to make.
Totally.
And it sounds like picking the right tool for each step is crucial.
Absolutely. And that's going to be like a theme that we'll see throughout this whole process. AI is powerful, but human decisions still drive the ship.
Yeah.
Now, image in hand, you might think, okay, just tell the AI to make this thing move. But it turns out, even with AI, performance matters a lot.
Hold on. Are you saying I need to brush up on my acting skills to become a cartoon?
Uh-huh.
What's the deal here?
Think of it this way. The best animations, even the cartoony ones, have this foundation in real movement.
Okay.
The way a character walks, gestures, even tiny facial expressions.
Yeah.
That's all based on how real people move.
Mm.
And that's where the magic of the driving video comes in.
Okay, break it down for me. What is this driving video thing?
It's basically you recording yourself acting out the scene that you want to animate.
Okay.
Think of it as giving the AI like a blueprint of your performance. Runway's then going to analyze that video and use it as a guide to animate your AI-generated image.
So it's not about me trying to perfectly mimic cartoon movements.
No.
It's about letting my natural expressions shine through.
Right.
And the AI translates that into animation.
Yeah.
That's a relief because my cartoon dancing skills are a little rusty.
Exactly. And there's even some practical advice that can help you get the best results. Make sure you have a stable camera, good lighting.
Yeah.
Kind of think of it as directing your own mini movie just for the AI.
Okay, now we're cooking. Image ready, performance captured, what's next? I'm guessing it's time to actually make this thing move.
You got it. And here's where Runway's generate video function comes into play.
Okay.
This is where things get really interesting because it involves what's called prompt engineering.
Ah, the art of talking to robots. Fill me in. What is prompt engineering all about?
Imagine you're giving instructions to an animator, but instead of speaking to a human, you're typing instructions for the AI. So you want your animation to be super smooth and realistic, or maybe you're going for a choppy stop motion vibe. It all comes down to the words you use in your prompt.
Wait, so I actually get to shape the animation style with my words. That's pretty powerful.
It is. But here's the thing. Even with a perfectly crafted prompt, there's an element of chance involved. The AI is going to interpret your words and then do its thing, but the output might not always be exactly what you pictured in your head. That's why it's recommended to generate multiple video clips and see which one best captures the vibe you're going for. It's like having a bunch of animators interpret your vision, and you get to pick the one you like best.
This is blowing my mind. Okay, so we've got our image, we've got our driving video performance, and now we've got this cool animated clip.
Yeah.
How do we put it all together?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like an AI editor that magically merges everything?
You're closer than you think.
Okay.
Runway has a tool called Act 1,
Okay.
and this is where all the magic comes together. You feed it your driving video and the AI-generated animation, and it maps the movement from one to the other, essentially transferring your performance onto your digital self.
Okay, so it's like motion capture.
Yes.
But instead of wearing a funny suit with dots all over it,
Right.
I'm just being myself in my driving video.
Exactly.
And the AI figures out the rest. This is starting to sound like science fiction.
It's pretty incredible technology. But even sci-fi has its limits. The length of your driving video actually matters here. If it's longer than the base animation, you might end up with the AI looping the animation to fill the gap, which might not always look natural. It's another one of those choices you need to be aware of as the director of your own AI animation.
So planning ahead is key.
Yeah.
Can't just wing it and hope for the best.
Right.
You know, I'm noticing a pattern here.
What's that?
Even though we're talking about AI,
Uh-huh.
human decisions seem to be at the heart of every step.
Yeah.
It's like AI is a tool, a really, really powerful tool.
It is.
But it's still up to us to guide it and make the creative call.
I think that's a great observation.
Yeah.
And it actually leads perfectly into the next stage of this process. Remember how we talked about the importance of performance in the driving video?
Yes.
Well, it turns out even the smallest details of your performance can have a huge impact on the final result.
All right, spill the tea. What kind of details are we talking about? I'm ready to level up my AI animation game.
We'll delve into that right after a quick break.
We're back, and my imagination is running wild with all these possibilities. Before the break, you were saying that even the smallest details of our performance can have a big impact on the animation. I'm all ears. What kind of nuances should we be paying attention to?
Well, think about how we communicate in real life, right? It's not just the words we say, it's our body language, like those subtle gestures and expressions. They all add layers of meaning. And turns out that's super important for AI animation too.
So even though it's a cartoon version of me, I still need to bring my A game to the performance. No slacking off just because a computer is involved.
Exactly. The AI is watching your every move, and it's surprisingly good at picking up on subtle cues. The creator of this technique specifically mentioned hand gestures and facial expressions. It's those little details that bring your digital self to life in a way that just mimicking basic movements can't achieve.
This is making me rethink how I approach acting. It's like instead of just playing to the camera, I'm playing to this AI that's going to analyze and interpret every twitch of my eyebrow. It's both fascinating and a little intimidating.
It is a new way of thinking about performance for sure, but think about the possibilities. You're essentially collaborating with the AI, using your human expressiveness to guide its creative output.
And it's not just about creating a cool animation for fun, right? I mean, this technique could have some serious real-world applications.
Absolutely. Imagine a world where you have a personalized avatar that can stand in for you in all sorts of situations. We're talking online education, virtual meetings, even immersive gaming experience.
Okay, now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
Imagine attending a virtual conference, but instead of just a static profile picture, you've got this animated version of yourself that gestures, reacts, and basically makes the whole thing way more engaging.
Exactly. And it's not just about visuals. Think about accessibility. Someone who might not be able to physically attend a meeting or a class could participate through their avatar. It makes those experiences more inclusive.
Wow, we've gone from me wanting to see myself as a cartoon to talking about reshaping how we interact in the digital world. It's amazing how quickly these conversations can go from the technical to the truly transformative.
That's the power of exploring new technologies, you know? It's not just about the tools themselves, but about the potential they unlock. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've talked a lot about the possibilities, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What are your biggest takeaways so far? What's resonating with you the most?
Honestly, what's blowing my mind is how much control we still have in this process. I came into this thinking AI would just take over and spit out a finished product, but it's so much more collaborative than that. It's like AI is a partner in the creative process, not a replacement for human input.
I completely agree. And that's why it's so important to understand not just the how, but the why behind these tools. The more we understand about how AI works, the better equipped we are to use it in a way that enhances, not diminishes, our own creativity.
You know, I think a lot of people hear AI and they immediately think of robots taking over the world, but this conversation is showing me a different side of AI. It's a tool that can amplify human creativity, not erase it.
That's a really important point. AI is often portrayed in a very dystopian light, but I think there's a lot of potential for good here. It's all about how we choose to use it.
Speaking of using AI for good, you mentioned education earlier. Can you expand on that a bit? I'm really intrigued by the idea of personalized avatars transforming how we learn.
Imagine a history lesson where your avatar interacts with historical figures, asking questions, making choices that shape the narrative. It would make learning so much more immersive and engaging.
Wait, so instead of just reading about history in a textbook, I can actually step into the shoes of a historical figure and experience those events firsthand.
Exactly. Or imagine learning a new language by conversing with AI powered characters in a virtual environment. The possibilities are endless.
Okay, my brain is officially exploding with ideas. I'm starting to see how this technology could really democratize access to information and experiences that were previously out of reach for many people.
It's exciting, isn't it? And we're just scratching the surface. As AI technology continues to evolve, the potential for positive impact in fields like education, healthcare, and even entertainment is truly mind boggling.
This is all incredibly inspiring, but I have a confession to make. I'm a visual learner. I need to see it to really grasp it. Is there a way to actually witness this AI animation magic in action?
You're in luck. There's a really cool example that showcases this technique's potential. We'll dive into that right after this short break.
All right, we're back, and my imagination is running wild with all these possibilities. Before the break, you teased an example that shows this AI animation technique in action. You got to spill the beans. What is it?
Okay, so picture this: a still image of a painting, and then it comes to life. The figure in the painting starts moving, gesturing, even dancing, all based on a real person's performance. It's like stepping into a whole new dimension of art appreciation.
Wait, hold on. So they took like a classical painting and animated it using this runway AI technique we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That's next level. How did they even pull that off?
Well, remember the driving video concept?
Yeah.
So in this case, instead of someone acting out a scene, it was a dancer performing a series of movements,
Okay.
and those movements were then mapped onto the figure in the painting using Runway's Generate Video and Act 1 tools.
So the AI is taking the essence of the dancer's movements and translating it into this entirely different visual style.
Right.
The style of the painting. That's incredible. It's like bridging the gap between classic art and modern technology.
Exactly. And the results are mind-blowing. You see the static figure, and then suddenly it's imbued with life, moving with a grace and fluidity that's both captivating and a little surreal. It really highlights the power of AI to reimagine what's possible in the realm of art and animation.
Well, what's really cool is that it opens up so many creative avenues.
Mm.
We've been talking about creating characters that look like us, but imagine applying this technique to historical figures, literary characters, even mythical creatures. The possibilities are endless.
You're getting it. And it's not just about bringing still images to life. Imagine using this technique to create entirely new forms of animation, blending different styles, experimenting with motion in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
Okay, I'm officially convinced this is way more than just a cool tech trick. It's a whole new way of thinking about animation, about creativity, about how we interact with the world around us. But I have to ask, where do we go from here? What's next for this technology?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? What's exciting is that we're still in the early stages. As AI models become more sophisticated and accessible, I think we'll see an explosion of creativity in this space. People will find new and innovative ways to use these tools, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
And it's not just about professionals, right?
Yeah.
This is something anyone with a bit of curiosity and a creative spark can experiment with.
Absolutely. That's what's so democratizing about these technologies. They're putting the power of creation into the hands of everyday people, empowering them to tell their stories, express their ideas, and shape the future of digital content.
So for our listeners out there who are feeling inspired and maybe a little overwhelmed, what's one piece of advice you would give them? What's the first step they should take to dive into this world of AI animation?
I would say don't be afraid to experiment. There's so many resources available online, tutorials, communities, and even free trials of AI software. Jump in, get your hands dirty, and see what you can create. The learning curve might seem steep at first, but the rewards are definitely worth it.
That's a great call to action. So to recap, we've explored how Runway AI can be used to create personalized animated characters and even bring still images to life. We've talked about the importance of performance, the power of prompt engineering, and the endless possibilities this technology unlocks. It's been a wild ride.
It has. And what's really exciting is that this is just the beginning. The future of AI animation is bright, full of potential, and waiting for us to shape it.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of AI character animation. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.